The 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by SunBet, Red Square, Bridgestone, the tyre of choice, and Kawasaki South Africa. Welcome back to Kyalami for the double header of the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup, round 7 and 8, which forms part of the Festival of Motoring. Beautiful Kawasaki ZX10 machines lined up as far as the eyes could see. Kawasaki is obviously the weapon of choice here in the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. Lefras Fritz made a welcome return to the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup pit lane after a lengthy battle with injury. However, though chitter-chatter over, qualifying over, it was now time for the riders to get ready for race 1 and 2 of round 7. And what better way than with a quick snooze? So some riders choosing to talk, some riders choosing to sleep. However, at the end of the day, all the action would take place out on track. Final preparations were underway for both riders and their machines. Final tyre pressures getting checked to ensure those Bridgestone R11 tyres are up to optimum working temperature. It was time to come alive with SunBet, time to wake up, time to walk around with steely eyes of determination, and even time for a quick bathroom break, as shown here by Ian Harwood. Damien Purificati getting ready for action. So was Lionel Black, the impressive Lionel Black, on his debut so far. A great qualifying for the veteran rider. The time for talking was over. It was time for action. Time to remove those tyre warmers and time to navigate through the thousands and thousands of spectators as the riders made their way out of pit lane for round 7, race 1 of the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. With close on 30 ZX10R bikes taken to the track to line up on the grid for race 1 of round 7, the action would be fierce, hotly contested. But let's take a look at the final combined qualifying for round 7. Clinton Seller would be leading the charge from pole ahead of Damien Purificati and Trevor Westman. Graham from Mido in 4th place ahead of Han McMahon in 5th, Mark Newland in 6th, David Feringa in 7th, David Enticott in 8th place, James Barson in 9th, Christian Carvello in 10th, Peter de Vos, first of the veteran riders, in 11th, Adi van Dalen in 12th, Keith Agliotti 13th, Paan Rothwell 14th, Johan Leroux in 15th, Tyron Piper in 16th, and Lubas in 17th. Peter Huisman in 16th ahead of Perron Parasimon, 20th Renatus van der Kijk ahead of Dreyer Cruz, Lionel Black, Aubrey Murray, Stephen Golgotzi, Ian Harwood in 25th, Safiso Temba in 26th, Daryl Barrington, 27th, Raymond Keel 28th, 29th, Martin Perry, and rounding out the grid in 30th place, Stewie Christie. As the riders formed on their grid slots, it was Clinton Seller heading off from pole position, but would he get the whole shot ahead of Damien Purificati and Trevor Westman? As the lights go off, it was away they go, and a great start from Clinton Seller, a great launch as well from Graham from Mido on the number 1 machine. Would he be able to get ahead of Trevor Westman and Damien Purificati heading into turn 1? Damien lunging on the inside there as we take a ride on board with the Class C man, that's a veteran rider of Peter de Vos. A great initial launch from Peter. As you can see, riders on the left, riders in front, riders behind. You want to brake as late as you possibly dare heading into turn 1. And that is Christian Carvello and David Enticott on his inside. A great launch there from Peter de Vos. Not getting past, but making a few places up, heading into turn 1 as the riders make their way into barbecue for the first time. That is, of course, turn 5 here at Kyalami. A great launch for most of the field, no incidents to report. As they head onto the back straight, it was still Clinton Seller leading ahead of Damien Purificati in 2nd, and in 3rd place it was Graham from Mido with a great start, but Graham getting back ahead of Damien Purificati, so maybe Damien running a little bit wide there. Trevor Westman in 4th place, he'll be looking at getting a bit further up, and that is behind him, the 117 of David Feringa. So a great launch from David Feringa as the rest of the field make their way out of clubhouse into the S's for the first time of asking. Heading up to Leeuwkop, the battle for 6 was raging on between Heinrich Mann, Mark Newland, and number 469 of Adi van Dalen as Clinton Siller made his way into the Crocodiles. That battle for second was now a three-way battle. And look at that move on the inside there. Johan Leroux going on the inside there of Peter de Vos. Some riders kicking up some dust in the background as well, using the whole track. I paid for the track. I'm going to use the whole track as we take a ride on board. Then once again with Peter de Vos. And you can see Johan Leroux making a move on the inside, running a bit wide, but he still managed to make that pass stick as the riders make their way into the final section and out of Ingwe to complete lap 1 and start lap 2. It was still Clinton Siller in the lead, ahead of Graham from Midor, Damien Purificato in second, Trevor Westman third, while the battle for 6 was still raging on between Heinrich Mann, Mark Newland and the number 469 of Adi van Dalen, with some riders behind him closing in now on that battle for the top 6 placings. Heading into Crowthorne, and it was Johan Leroux who had now closed the gap in on Christian Carvello ahead, and David Enticott, and on the bit of a gap at this stage on Peter de Vos as the riders make their way through. That's a pass on the inside. Damien Purificato in barbecue on Graham from Midor, and did he make that move stick? I think he did indeed. So that would put Damien Purificato now up to second place as the rest of the field coming through. Renatus van der Kijk leading the charge of riders, Lionel Black as well. And at the tail end of the field, Martin Perry had managed to get ahead of Stewie Christie. So that was a nice battle that was heating up in the veterans class as well, as the riders made their way out of barbecue onto the back straight and into Sunset. It was still Clinton Siller, now with a commandable lead of a couple of seconds ahead of the second place battle, which was still raging on. It was Graham from Midor who managed to sneak past back through on Damien Purificato, and Trevor Westman looking on the inside there of Damien Purificato into Clubhouse. So this was a nice three-way battle for the podium positions, second, third and fourth place, while Clinton Siller was gapping his riders as they tussled amongst themselves. David Feringa was having a great ride in fifth, with Heinrich Mann just behind him, and now the battle behind him, Adi van Dalen had managed to get past Mark Newland as we take on a ride on board with Keith Agliotti heading up to Leeuwkop, and that is Lubas behind. Lubas snaking out of control a little bit and into the barrier there, so it looked like he had to take avoiding action in order to miss Keith Agliotti, and that was initially caused by him hard on the brakes. The back wheel came up and snapped, and he had to let go of the brakes and make the decision whether to go left or right and avoid taking out another rider. So luckily Lubas all right, but that did bring out the red flag, and after that was all cleared up and Lubas's bike was recovered as well as he was recovered. We got underway for the restart, and this time a poor start from Clinton Siller from pole position. This allowed Graham from Midor to get ahead of him and Damien Purificato. So looked like a whole shot there from Damien Purificato. Trevor Westman going around the outside, but it was in fact Damien Purificato ahead of Graham from Midor. Clinton Siller with work to do now in third place, and they were ahead of Trevor Westman in fourth, David Feringa in fifth, as the rest of the field, a move on the inside there from Jaya Cruz in barbecue as well, looking at making up places as the riders head out of barbecue onto the back straight into Sunset for yet another time of asking. And at this stage, Clinton Siller had already found his way through on Damien Purificato, and Graham from Midor in third, Trevor Westman in fourth, and David Feringa in fifth. But yet another red flag, and this time, unfortunately, it was the veteran rider of Johan Leroux having a crash heading up to Leeuwkop, so the same place as Lubas, and he was lying down there, so it looked like he might be a bit injured as the marshals clear his bike off and load it, and the head marshals and medics there taking Johan Leroux towards the medic vehicle. So Johan on his feet, which is a good thing to see, but yet another red flag. So that's two red flags in the first part of race 1 here at Kyalami. And unfortunately, that was that. The clerk of the course deciding to cancel race 1 here, obviously on a tight schedule with the Festival of Motoring. So the riders made their way into Park Ferme to discuss the hectic race and what had happened with 2 restarts. They would have to get their bikes into pit lane, make adjustments and reset and do it all again later on in the day for race 2. Time to take a sip of that red square reload and reset for race 2. The 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by SunBet, Red Square, Bridgestone, the tire of choice, and Kawasaki South Africa.